Everybody, Adam Savage here in my cave with a tool tip in which we're actually going to do something a little bit crafty. You know how much I love hats. Wow, you can't even see my face. It's not a secret how much I love hats. People wonder where I get my hats. Well, I go to hat stores, but that hasn't been very fruitful lately. No stores. Well, I haven't been to a store in a long time. But one of the other places I get hats is eBay. And I've been eyeing the Resistol open road hat for a long time. And I managed to get this one for a good deal. It was advertised as 7 1/4. I mean, I guess it could fit me at 7 1/4. And I mean, as I look at myself in this mirror, it's not perfect. I want to stretch it out. And I'm going to show you 2 tools that I use to do this. Here we go. Now, you may find a hat you like in a hat store, and it might be a little too small for you because it's the only one they have. And the proprietor of the hat store may tell you, oh, we can stretch it out. And they'll put a thing that's like 2 wooden moons, and they'll stretch it a little bit, and then it'll fit you a little bit better. But it's not a permanent solution. When you stretch this that way, it's going to stretch a little bit, but not a ton. You're working against a lot. You're working against the leather, the stitching, the construction, the seam, the sewing, etc. You need a little help. Oh, also, you can go on Amazon right now and look at hat stretchers, and they're like, I don't know, 12 or $14 for these like cheap ones with a turnbuckle in the middle. Don't buy those. Don't ever buy those. There's no reason to, because you can buy a magnificent turn of the 19th to the 20th century hat stretcher, and it looks like this. Yes. Okay, so, right? You got to buy it within the range of your head. This is to stretch hats that are within the range of my head. I think I paid $30 for it. Look at this beautiful piece of, amazing. So what you do is you put the stretcher in the hat. That's it. And then you slowly, hear that? Yeah, I hear stretching going on, but no better. So how do I help the stretching? Oh, I do it with steam. I have talked about steam in hats before, but most of the practice that I've been doing in this department, I've been doing off camera. So this is the first time I'm bringing my steamer into the mix. And this is a standard fabric steamer. And if you are into cosplay, you should have one of these in your collection. They're expensive. They can be expensive. They can be in the hundreds of dollars. I picked up this one on Craigslist for like $50 20 years ago. Yeah, I think 20 years ago. And it was because I was like so sick of eyeballing it in the catalog for film equipment and not being able to afford it because it was like $500 or something. I mean, it's overpriced. Or it was overpriced for what I needed it for because I didn't need it regularly. I pretty much only use this thing when I'm working on costumes. I have in an emergency steamed out a tux, but that was just once. So, this is a Jiffy steamer, and every costume shop in the world uses one of these on a daily basis. They're awesome. I'm about to use it to help this hat stretch a little bit. Amazingly, the original tag is in here. P145 Gila. The color is 023 mink. Brim is 3 1/4. 7 1/4 is the size. Yeah, that's. I'm keeping that. It's lived with a hat this whole time. So I'm gonna put the stretcher in here, and I'm gonna just bring it under just resistance tension, not a ton, and then I am going to bring some steam in here. Now the thing about the open road hat is it's very much like the kind of hat that you'd see. I feel like I don't know this for sure, but this is very much like a Bob Dylan and the late 60s kind of hat. This is Rambling Man hat. It's a Rambling Man hat. These show up on eBay all the time, but of varying qualities and lineages. And I have so many hats in this brown. I was hoping for a kind of a more beat up off-white one, but we'll see. I may still get it. So now I've steamed it a little bit. I've warmed it up. I'm gonna just pat it out there. I'm gonna steam a little bit more. Just to hope it takes. So I said recently that that the felt of a hat is tiny little fur with a binder, and I have been disabused of that notion that like really good felt is there is no binder. It's just the physics of the felt holding together in the same way that like the small tendrils of rope are tiny little strings that hold together. Hold on, let's just see. Yeah, okay, still, again, I'm creeping up on this. So I'm just gonna, you don't wanna, it would suck to get it too big. Well, I mean, you can, there are things that I have learned I can do when that happens. So I'm gonna steam it up again and just get it a little warm. Now, hat makers, they have this whole like steam generator that makes steam for hats. And this isn't like the best output for hats, but it's fine for me and the kind of things that I do. And I recently, well, I'm working on a costume in which the hat I bought was magnificent, but needed a bunch of customizing. And that's when I did a lot of work with the steamer, and it made me feel, maybe I should be a little bolder about showing everyone how I stretch a hat. Okay, so give them a little bit more. There's a hat store in Manhattan on Fifth Avenue called JJ Hatters, and the wonderful crew there is one of my regular visits when I go to New York. And I have spent hours in their store, like pulling hat lights off the wall and having the, you know, playing around with them and like, okay, that's a little bit better, a little bit better. I feel like, yeah, I know, the crown is absurdly high. Again, I'm not sure this hat works for me. I am not positive that it works for me. And it may be that what I want to do is a more crushed and crumpled open road kind of crown. This one is almost a little bit overly neat. That's the issue I have with a lot of manufactured hats is when the creases are all perfectly regular, it pulls me out of the story. Oh, right. I want to get one more little stretchy poo in here. So when you have a hat where it's got like creases there, whoa, where you see creases right like this, steam is a reasonable way, I believe, if I'm understanding that correctly, to get that out. All right. You and oh, wow. Sorry, my steamer fell apart, and I got to put it back together without touching it because it's burning me. It's difficult being this impatient. This hat's definitely been beaten up. I like that about it. But like I said, I think some of its creases are still a little too regular. That's it. That's the fit that I was looking for. So that is more the kind of, yeah, that's more the kind of open road thing I was thinking of. I got to go get my big mirror. This crown is so high, it's crazy. It's way better. haven't done much to it. I know. Look, if you're a milliner and you're watching this, and please know that I don't pretend to any knowledge here, that I don't have. This is all trial and error and from hanging out in hat shops. Yeah, I'm quite sure I'm getting lots of things wrong, but it's not a bad. I mean, the thing about a new hat is you got to wear it for a while and you got to see if it's gonna take. It takes a while for the hat to become part of you. Funnily enough, it looks better on camera than it does in the mirror, but I'm not sure what that's about. Let's see, I'm gonna just try and get that front pinch just a little bit better, a little bit tighter. So yeah, it turns out that what the steam is doing is just allowing the little tiny microscopic pieces of felt to move around each other. I have no idea if I can pull off a crown like this, but now I've got a hat that I can try out and I can see how I like it. Yeah, hard to say. I've done everything I can to this hat. I hope, yeah. I was thinking I'd end up with a much better looking hat in the end. Like I'd be like, damn, that looks awesome. But I forget that that's almost never what happens with a new hat. Almost never. I gotta say, it looks pretty darn good in the camera here. Right. This is a mirror shot, and so is this a mirrored shot. How does this look when I look at it like that? Even one of those little handheld steamers that they're now putting in hotels, and by the way, hotels, thank you for putting in steamers as opposed to irons, because frankly, for me, I find them much more useful. But those little handheld steamers that you can get, I don't know, I'm actually not sure how much they cost, but a little handheld steamer would be fine for periodic work on a hat. I really think so. And yeah, do not waste your time with any of those new wooden turnbuckle-driven hat stretchers. Go get a beautiful. This is like I stole it out of a Louise Nevelson sculpture. This is the shizzle. I just love this thing. Look at that cast iron handle. Oh, it's gorgeous. All right, time to get rambling. I'm a rambling man. Thank you guys for joining me. I will see you next time. Thank you guys for watching that video. If you'd like to further support us at Tested, you can do so by buying some merch from us in our store. A link is below, but I wanted to tell you that for the first time, we are releasing a discounted bundle of Tested merch, specifically our original 5 demerit badges. These are ways in which every maker screws up. So we've got the Measure Once, Curse Twice, releasing the mysterious blue smoke from electronics and stopping them from working, breaking a drill bit, 3D printer going all flying spaghetti monster on you, and my personal most common one, cutting your finger. Yeah, get yourself over to tested-store.com and line yourself up with some demerit badges. I'm gonna sew these to my apron. Oh, that actually would make a good one-day build.